Okay, this video is going to be an explanation of simple compare function and also some math functions. It's just to kind of get you the basics. I will dispense with going through all the normal setup information. You should be fully aware of that by now. RSLogix emulator I/O configuration is all set. So we're going to jump right into the program. I'm going to insert a rung, and I'm going to start with a compare function. I'm going to click over here to the compare tab, and I'm just going to use a greater than function. So I'm going to say if the value that I want to test is an integer, and we'll call it N710, and I'll just call this test value for no other reason than just have a name. This is my test value, and I'm going to say if this value is greater than 500, then I want to perform an action. The action that I'd like to perform is just to energize an output relay, and I'll call this output 5. I used that in a previous lab, so it's going to already be there described as output 5. So that's my compare function, and I'm going to combine the math example here also. So I'm going to insert a rung here, and I have to tab over to the compute math tab, and I'm going to make this just a simple unconditional function. So I'm just gonna make this an add, and just for the heck of it, I'm gonna use my N7 value. I don't have to, that I used for my greater than test, and I'm going to add let's say 45 to that. I'm sorry, my source is going to be 45. Source A is N710. I'm going to add 45 to that, and I'm going to store that in N7. Let's make that 20, and I'll just call this destination. Okay, so I have a compare function in rung 0. If the value of N710 is greater than 500, I'll pick up the output 2/5, and I have an unconditional math statement that adds 45 to the value of N710, stores it in N720. Now I can provide a value for N710 right now if I want to, and let's just say I want to make this 50. And it's not letting me do that, so I'm going to go down here to first thing I have to do, the reason why that didn't work, this is a good explanation, is right now in the N7 integer file, N710 and N720 don't exist. If I click on the N7 data file, as you can see, by default, the only value that's there is N710. So I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to verify the project, and I find that I have no errors, and it's verified. Now if I go to N7, the integer file, now I see that the table is populated up to N720. So that's the reason why I couldn't enter a value for N710. Now I'm going to enter a value of 50. So that was a good exercise. This is a live show, folks, so once again I need to verify my project, and there's no errors, so now I'll be able to download it. So initially when I go into run mode after downloading, N710 will have 50, And right now the calculation hasn't been performed for N720, but when it goes into run I should find that there's a 95 in N720. So I'm going to download this program, and of course it wants a rev. Yes, do I want to do this? Yes, yes, yes. And as we see, I'm online with the processor now. I'm going to go to run, and now we should see N720 change to 95, which we now have a value of N7. We have a value of 95 in N720. So if I open up my integer data table N7, I see now that the values are populated in the table for N710, which is what I decided to store, is 50, and then 95 is in N720. That's the value, that's the result of my calculation. So right now I have N710 is less than 500, so my output is not on. So I can enter a value here in the data table manually by clicking on this, and I'm going to make this 600. I type in 600 and hit enter, and now we see that the output 2/5 is on, and also that I've recalculated the computation, the add instruction in rung 1. I recalculated N720 to be 645, which is of course correct. It's 600 plus 45. So I can change any value in this table I want. I can make this 1000 if I want. Once again, the output stays on. My value N720 is 1045. I can change values here again. It's not letting me change values for some reason. Here we go, and let's make it 355. Okay, now my output is turned off because 355 is less than 500, and my N720 is 355 plus 45, or 400, as we would expect. Now, one final thing to note: if I were to try to change the destination N720, try to change that value, and I'll put in 1000 here, let's say. If I try to make that change, if you'll notice, the 1000 stayed on there until I hit the enter, and then it went back to 400. That is because this is a result of a calculation, and the 1000 stayed in the database for one scan. Once it got back to this add instruction, N720 was rewritten by the add instruction to be 400. So that's proper. Because this is an unconditional statement, there's no way I can make that change. So that's it. That concludes this presentation on compare and math functions.